You are listening to KUAW Radio, home of the all-new Jamal Bakes Show, and I'm Jamal Bakes, and thank you so very much for listening to the station bringing you talk, news, entertainment that you won't get anywhere else. KUAWN of and about our community.
This is the last weekend before Christmas on Blue Simon City. We're wrapping up our all Christmas blues and Southern Soul program.
Oh, Gene Bailey.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Armand Carr.
Oh, and I'm Joseph Antoine.
And we're actually filling in for Tyrone Gathers in the Source of the KUAW show. He asked us last week to fill in for him, and we took on the challenge.
Yeah, what did you say? We took the challenge.
Just a little background information about myself. I am a teacher in the Kansas City public school system. I teach special education for the last 12 or 13 years.
My background, I'm a paraprofessional in the Kansas City, Missouri School District. This is my 6th year. I did 10 years in Turner Kansas School District in special ed.
Now I'm going to put this out up front. Bear with us. We're not radio professionals. So we're gonna do it.
I got some experience.
Yeah, let me take that back. Let me take that back. Mr. Anton does have some experience in college.
But you know.
I speak for myself. So just bear with me, and we're gonna try to give you a good show.
Right.
So actually, the topic that we're gonna talk about this evening is we're gonna talk about church and
good topic to me.
And God. So just
always good to talk about it.
Just bear with us, flow with us.
Yeah.
Okay.
So start out with what church you go to and what you do at your church.
Yes. I actually attend Landmark International Worship and Deliverance Ministries, and I'm actually the youth department director at my church. So that's my church background.
All right. And your pastor is?
My pastor is... I already was saying, my pastor is Bishop John L. Brown, singer.
Amen. I go to Bread of Life East, Pastor Otis L. Cobbins Jr. I'm only, like I said, I'm a deacon, but I also work on the board, like the music board for the singing and stuff, and I do like the audio stuff.
Okay. All right, so I guess we can just open it up. I mean, there's so much to talk about with church. It's such a broad topic.
But a good topic is why all this $1 billion, to restore the chapel
in Paris.
You know what? $1 billion? You know what we can do with $1 billion?
Yeah, we can do a lot with it.
Just to build a building. Okay. So I mean, what everybody think about that? I mean, I know it's a tourist attraction thing, but $1 billion. I mean, you know, a lot of churches been getting burned down, but they ain't getting $1 billion to rebuild them.
Yeah, I saw on the news the other day. The 3 churches that were burned down south, there was a pastor, I believe, from one of the churches. He was on the news, and he expressed his concern. He said, hey, look, he said the church over in Paris, I know it was a church, but he said once it was burned down, they started receiving, billions of dollars worth of donations to rebuild the church. But he said the 3 churches that was burned down where we're at, he said we didn't get no funding up front until he came on to, and said something about it. So, how do you feel about that?
Well, always to me, it's like it says, it's just a building. It's all going to run. It's going to go away like everything else.
That's true.
But
now we can get on here and start preaching.
It's not a preaching. It's just the word that's in you is the truth. You know, all this other stuff, cars, all that's gonna fade away.
They're gonna pass away. Yeah.
You know.
I said, last I heard, we were the church,
Hey,
the members, not the building.
not the building, it's just a place to go worship in. You know, you can also worship outside. You worship in your house, but $1 million for just to restore a building, and then it's raining out there. And I heard he trying to put tarp over it. Like, come on, y'all. Y'all get a little outrageous now, making people focus on things and not the real solution. You know, we know what that is, Jesus Christ.
Okay. Yeah. What the scripture say? I'm gonna quote the scripture. Say, "Do not store." What it say? Do not store your treasures on earth where moth and rust can destroy it.
That's true.
But store your treasures in heaven. Okay. Now I want to get into this. By us being teachers and working in education, I'm gonna go here.
Okay.
You know, again, by us being educators, and we worked in some buildings that have housed some children with challenges, and so we see different types of behaviors on a daily basis. And a lot of people say, well, you know, if the children had this, if they had that, you know, they would be okay, which is true. You know, if they had their parents, you know, raised them the right way, they wouldn't act this way. But me, I'm going to take it a little bit deeper. Okay. And again, it's just mine. I'm like I said, I don't want to start preaching, but there's some truth in it. A lot of this stuff that we witness with our children in the school system, and just not even in the school system, but in general, what we see, there are different types of behaviors, is spiritual.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a spiritual reasoning behind that. And what I mean by that is, again, I guess this is, the church is going to come out of me. There are a lot of principalities and demonic forces
Yeah.
out there. A lot of demonic forces and principalities out there that's affecting our children.
Right. I mean, they see a lot.
They do.
They see a lot. And they take on what they see. And they think that's how it is, but that's not how it is. You know, you got to, you go say, us as educating them as teachers, I mean, you still got to give them the right thing that they need to, for them to go forward in life. So it's the same way with church. You got to give them the same thing that they need so they can go forward in life and afterlife, because there is an afterlife. Some people don't believe it is. That's me. That's my opinion, that there's an afterlife. But you got to give them the same thing. And they learn by seeing, by what you do. So it says, so let your light shine before man.
That's true.
So that's how we got to train our kids, that everything that you see ain't always what it is.
That's true. Said train up a child in the way that they should go.
When they get grown and depart, they
They
will
will not
Oh,
depart from you.
So, you know, I mean, my mama didn't take me to church, but I always went to church. So she didn't take me to church. But now, I'm in my 50s, but I still go to church. That's what I love to do. So we have to, like, you know, teach our kids that. Sometimes we have to, when they're younger, we have to take them to church. When they get older, you need to send them to church. They need to hear some words. You know, we need to fellowship, as it says. We need to fellowship with one another. So you can't forsake that assembly with others, because, you know, that's how you get to learn. You fellowship with others. You know, iron sharpens iron. Sometimes you might be going through something, and me being your brother at church, see you going through something, ask you, what's up, my brother? And you will tell me what? I'll tell you the word. We can sit there until you get the right word that you need to get you through that day. You know?
That's true. That's true. That's very important. And, you know, a lot of people don't realize that. But yes, there is, again, principalities and demonic forces out there that's affecting our cities and our children and everything, and causing them to act certain ways. So I just wanted to put that piece in there. As far as the educational piece, it's just been, we talk about it at my church, and it's been something that's been on my mind. So
what's the part that been on your mind? Part that, the way they're acting, the way the teachers are acting. I mean, that's the way we can go to, like,
yeah,
when you get an education. So if you're the person in, whatever building you're in, whatever school you're in, you're supposed to be a different person. They're supposed to see something different than you. They're supposed to see you the same as the other one that's not.
That's true.
You're supposed to be something different.
And we're the peculiar people.
Yeah, they're supposed to see something different in you.
Yeah. And that's what I try to do. Each day I go in, I try to be that positive example, that positive role model to our young children, because they need it. They do. A lot of them are so misguided and lost and need that structure and that guidance to actually get them on the right path, but not only just to get them on that right path, but to keep them so they won't stray.
Right.
And that's what I try to do. Not just come in and say, okay, here, I'm your teacher. I'm going to sit down and you're going to learn this from me. We're going to do this, we're going to do that. That's part of the job. That's the main part, but I do want them to see positive,
Right.
some positivity.
We do get positive stuff. I mean, we don't just ride there, just, run around and just pound education in them. We do show them, teach them right from wrong, that ain't right. That ain't right. You talk to people, that kind of stuff. We do that. We just don't run around and put demonic stuff in kids. Come on, people like educators, they just, no, that's not us. We are human people. So we do treat your kid like if that was my kid, how would he want to be treated?
Mm-hmm. And it works. I used to say throughout the course of my teaching career, I said, we encounter thousands of children, and I said, if we can reach that one, just that one out of the many, we've done our job.
Yes.
So, and I contribute my background in church, my parents raising me the way that they did. They were strong, supportive parents. They raised me the right way. Then again, I was involved in the church. I contribute all that to, it got me to where I'm at now. So now I want to give back to my community, and what better way to do it than to, being a teacher. That's the best way. I mean, again, we see so many hundreds of different faces from all different age groups, and if we can get them while they're young,
Right.
hopefully, 5 or 10 years from now when we see them, hopefully they graduated and done something positive with their lives. But that's what we're there for. And I'm gonna say this, going back to church, teaching is a calling, and I'm gonna say this, I believe God has put me in this position to get back to our children.
Oh, that's good. Oh, you gotta be called, cause you just walking in the door thinking you just gonna do
You just
something.
ain't walking them doors.
You don't walk in the door every morning thinking you just gonna do something
In front of 20, 25 kids, and they looking at you. Yeah, it takes a lot of patience and a lot of that's the number one thing, a lot of patience.
A lot of patience.
Right. Okay.
So and more. Y'all can text.
You call me in. Ask questions. I believe we're on Facebook.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, we'll try our best to answer them. Again, we're not experts.
Experts.
And again, we're filling in for Mr. Tyrone Gathers. So if you have any questions or anything, feel free to call in or comment.
Yeah, text, send smoke signal.
And we'll try our best to answer them, or then, if you just want to open up a discussion, that's okay.
Yes, and I wanted to let them know that the calling number is 816-599-6893. If you have any call-ins, 816-599-6893. You can give a call and talk to the gentlemen that are here right now.
See? You got help in the background. You get help in the background.
Okay. Did you have anything?
Just let it flow.
Let it flow?
Let it flow,
Okay.
I know your role. You told me this like 2 years ago when they asked you to be the over to you.
Okay.
I know how you were struggling then, and I said, just keep doing it. I said, do what the calling God put on you, and He's gonna get you through it. And one day you're gonna be like, oh man, it wasn't nothing. So how you doing right now?
I'm doing pretty well. I have grown since I was appointed to that position in my church about 2.5, 3 years ago. And when my pastor asked me to do it, I was like, oh, Lord. He said, brother mine, I got something I want you to do. He said, I want you to oversee our youth. I said, me? I said, I don't like talking, to myself. So I don't like talking and doing all that. He said, no, you the perfect person for it.
Okay.
And I said, okay, Lord, you have to help me through. And He's brought me, like I said, it's been about 3 years as the youth department director. And not only do I oversee our staff and children, but I'm also a teacher in that regard, because I teach on Wednesdays and Sundays. So it's teaching within that.
Right.
So I have to use a lot of the things that I use in the classroom, my school classroom. I bring it into the church and use it with my children there.
Okay. So they're getting His word and the education part at the same time. See how you put that together? I mean, we always say, church and school don't go together. How can it not go together? I mean, how can you leave it out when it's right and it's educational? So how can you leave it out of education? It's your daily education role. By you doing it, it's your daily education role. It gets you through the day.
My brother from another mother asked a question.
Well, Tyrone just came in and said, you brothers are making it happen.
Thank you.
We really appreciate it.
Tim, he can call in I know you listening. You can call in.
Yeah, we know the track meet over by now.
Also, a brother, Jeremy Blunt, he had I Wonder Why, and I don't know exactly what his question was relating to, but he's got I Wonder Why, and that's when you guys had first started. Okay. So, Jeremy, if you could kind of put a little detail to that I Wonder Why, we'll see if we can get you an answer.
Yeah, we get you an answer. Wonder why.
Okay. Yeah. So how about you, Brother Antoine? Your capacity in church?
Oh man, I'm blessed because that's what I went to college for, and I'm blessed to do be in the ministry, because I always say my words, faith without works is dead. So I always got to work. Mm-hmm. By me working in the church, it kind of keeps my mind off of other things that's not godly. Mm-hmm. It keeps me focused on Him, so I don't veer left or right so much. So that's good. And also my wife is she's like an administrator, so I better be right.
Got to help me.
Right. Oh, definitely that one. And I mean, it's good, and And he kind of like I said, you know, he moved me from one place to the other because I was getting frustrated in one school, so he moved me to another school. So I was like, thank you, Lord, I was waiting on that movement. So that movement, it was an easy move, but it's still the move where you still have to, I still have to show, you know, kids which way to go. They're still my special ed kids, and they still need, you know, balancing how to do things right.
And love and compassion and guidance, yeah. We can take a lot of the Bible principles, again, you know, take a lot of the Bible principles, and it still applies with the children that we come in contact with on a daily basis.
Basic instruction for leaving Earth. That's what I call it, the Bible. Basic instruction before leaving Earth. It sounds like a T-shirt right there. So the time represented not because a question back so you can help him out. Not yet.
Okay, so I guess we can talk about the present state of the church now.
Ooh.
Do we want to go there?
That's another whole bag of beans. I mean, like what state? I mean, like more outreach state? Are we praying more state? Are we doing more? Are we doing more now than we was? Let's just say 20 years ago.
Okay. Well, I guess the community involvement of the church.
Are they doing more now than 20 years ago?
Yes.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah. I mean,
20 years ago, let's just say 20 years ago, you would see pastors on the street corners with a microphone and a guitar mic and just preaching the word. Whether nobody heard, if you there from 9 till 3, 5, 7, whatever it is, preaching the word.
mm-hmm.
And it looked like nobody heard him, but they was hearing him. Because you can't hit the air and nobody not hear it. So now, I don't even see nobody on the corner. I don't see no kid on the corner. You know, I mean, I'm blessed. I have a church that have outreach. We go every Thursday. We outreach every Thursday from 6 till 8:30. And then it start getting dark. We start closing it off. But I don't see that. Well, it'd be like a lot of churches, you know, doing outreach.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Do you see the benefits of your outreach?
Yes, I see a lot of benefits. We see the people we pray for. We see the corners not so much, you know, in chaos.
Yes.
You know, because you just by being on the corner, you got somebody's praying all the time while they're there.
Witnessing.
Right, somebody's coming, we're talking, we're praying for people, you know. You got the signs, you know, go back to church, go back to Jesus. And I have seen a difference. You know.
That's good. Yeah, and I know in my church in particular, a couple times throughout the year, we will go throughout the neighborhood and knock on doors and try to witness to, you know, the neighbors that live around the church. And I know as far as the youth department, we do certain things throughout the year where we not necessarily invite the children to come in, but like, for example, on Halloween, we don't celebrate Halloween. So instead of us doing Halloween, we do what's called Hallelujah Night instead of Halloween Night. And so, you know, we had the candy and stuff. You know, we do the trunk or treat, and we actually stopped calling it that this year. But members of the church youth department, we, you know, put candy in the trunk, open it up, and we open it up to the community. And they come out. You know, they see that's a safe place to come out and get candy for the children. And then some of them do actually come to church on Sunday. So that's the main purpose.
Right.
You know, whatever you can do to reach a person that may not, you know, may be in need. Just let them know, hey, you know, we're here. You can come check us out on Sunday. We have things for the children. And
doors are open.
Yeah, always open.
Hey, that's a good place. That's a good place to be.
It is. So
I mean, so what's different? You see 20 years from till now?
Well, I'm still a little young. So that's why I asked you. Because I know you had a little bit more
That's not gonna work, man.
experience and time.
Time?
Well, you know what I mean as far as,
I'm good.
hey, you got a couple more years on me. When I was in church when I was younger, quite honestly, I do remember seeing, people out on the corner, like you said, with the microphone, preaching, standing on the corner, just preaching the word of God.
Right.
Whoever rolled by and heard it, they heard it. If you wanted to do something else with it, then you had the opportunity. But that's why I asked you, because I really don't remember back in the day. Honestly, I don't.
I ain't talking about, man, breaking bread with Jesus. Back in the day, I'm talking about 20 years. It was like, what, 13, 16? Come on.
Honestly, I can't speak for a lot of churches. I mean, I haven't seen, but I haven't been around, a lot of different churches, a lot of people to say what they're doing. I'm pretty sure there are plenty of other churches out there doing things for the community. I know there are. But me personally, I can't speak. I don't want to speak and say, well, they ain't out doing nothing because I don't know.
No, we didn't say, I didn't say, churches weren't doing nothing. I say churches today compared to 20 years ago. 20 years ago, when you had a church invited church, it was like, man, it was like a packed church. And they would always do something together, like say something in the community.
Mm-hmm.
So we have and that when we didn't have all the churches on the same street. You have 10 churches on one block. You might have had one church on the block. 3 blocks over, you had another church. But now we got 10 churches on one block. But you got 50 killings on one block, the same block with all these churches. What's up with that?
Let's see. Yeah. I see what you're saying.
And that's the question everybody asking. What's up with that?
Okay, yeah, back in the day, like you said, the church was a safe place. You can go, get you a meal, get your word. It's a safe place. But now, yeah, I guess a lot of people don't view the church as
Not the
that
same
anymore.
place.
Mm-hmm. They just
20 years ago, you wouldn't, if you see a water wall by the church, you straighten up. So at least till you got to the
have some
corner.
respect. Yeah,
At least till you got to the corner. Now you sleep on the porch. You sleep on the front steps. Now whatever.
that's true. That's true. You got away from those moral
Right, we got some
principles.
moral principles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
That's what I was talking about, the 20 years compared to now. I didn't mean I ain't saying nobody at church is doing nothing.
Okay, I
Not
misunderstood.
that. I ain't saying nobody at church was doing it. They go, hey man, get him off. He's doing my mind. No. I said. I just said I'm trying to compare 20 years
To now,
to now, to the present day.
and that's all we had to clarify.
Right, we had to clarify, y'all. Don't be calling Tyrell to like, man, get that dude. He said my church wasn't doing that. I don't even know your church right now. I hope your church doing something. If you're doing something, hallelujah, thank you, Jesus, because we need it.
Yeah, because we're all in it together.
Right.
And we're not going to say any individual church name.
No, we
just talking.
we talking church.
We don't have any questions. Okay.
I would tell you this church that was doing something, but that might be a what you call it, one of them spots where you got to pay for it.
Well, just say what they're doing.
Okay, they're doing a Praise in the Park. It's going to be at the bandstand. But to put this on your calendar, the bandstand from 10 o'clock till 5 p.m. July 7th. That's a Sunday. July the 7th. Praise in the Park.
When you say the bandstand, where's
Swope Park Bandstand.
Oh, okay.
Swope Park Bandstand, July 7th, from 10 o'clock to 5 p.m. It's going to be 2 churches doing it, Praise in the Park.
And I went a couple years ago, and I want to say it's a real nice event. Come out and get you some words, some music, and some food.
Oh, yeah, we'll have a little food.
Plenty of food. They have other activities going on. I know when I went out, came out a couple years ago, they had like horseback riding.
Yeah, there'll be some horseback. Something for the kids, always.
They had like a concert when I pulled up. They was jamming. So yeah, you know, that's just another way of being involved in the community. You know, doing stuff within the community.
Right. Don't cost you nothing.
Just bring your body.
That's it.
And
You buy to receive.
and I guess I can put in a plug too. Just throw it out there, but it's still a few months out. My church will be having family and friends in August.
Oh, that's good too.
And I may have to come back on air when it gets close and plug that or put that out there. I don't know if I can, but yeah, I'll come back out later on and put that out there. All right.
You got a lot of people out there too. All right, we're going to hit one of these KUAW breaks and we'll be right back. All right.
All right, we are back on
the Inkwell.
on KUAW. Once again, filling in for Mr. Tyrone Gathers and his show, The Source of the Inkwell.
Yes.
Thank you once again, Mr. Gathers, or Tyrone, for allowing us to come on and fill your slot.
Yeah, we thought you was going to be here.
Yeah, we did.
Thought it was going to be a threesome. He left us free.
We gonna roll with him. We got you.
We got you.
Okay, so I'm scrolling through my phone trying to find some more questions, some things that we can discuss. All right, so I know we talked about education in the church. Again, I will read this thing, but I guess we can talk about I don't know. I always come back to this church and education again. I don't know if we can elaborate on that some more. Just I don't know.
Okay, let's jump somewhere. It's gonna tie in. Watch.
Let's go there.
Let's go to Saturday. All the kids at World of Fun.
Okay.
Brawling.
Mm-hmm.
What is that? I mean, that's supposed to be your fun place.
Mm-hmm.
Place for families to have fun together.
Yes.
So what do you think the little bitty kids are thinking when they see that?
Oh, it's not good. That's not good at all. Children, especially young children, they're at that, when they're young like that, they're very impressionable.
Mm-hmm.
So when they see things like that take place, it gets inside of them. And I have something I want to talk about too. You did bring up a good topic. You opened up something for me. It gets in them, and I don't want to say they don't know any better, because a lot of them do at a young age.
Yes,
but
right and wrong.
When it gets in them, they want to bring it out. They act out what's in them. So again, spirits and wicked places.
Right. You gotta control your anger. I tell my kids that all the time in school. You can get mad, but you can't get mad to the point where you just go off the handle.
Mm-hmm.
And just do and throw things, break stuff, fight. That's unconstructive.
And I see that. I'm glad you said that, because it seemed like this year in particular, the children that I work with, that's all they talk about. That's all they know is violence. They talk about it from when they get off the bus in the morning, throughout the day,
right,
when I'm in class with them, at the end of the day, when they get on the bus, talking about, I'm fighting this person, we fighting this and that, gun this, gun that. I said, is that all you all know? I said, you put in that much effort on talking about fighting your peer in your work. You can be
engineer, come on,
mathematician, doctor, but that's all they know. And it's the saying is, it goes in one ear, not the other. But I believe with a lot of our children, it doesn't even go into one ear. It hits the side of the head, because it's like, after we had that conversation, 10 seconds later, not a minute, they back to talking about fighting again. And I said, I don't understand. So that's, again, that ties into
it ties into how we're supposed to raise them. Yeah. I mean, we're not telling you. I mean, there's some young folks probably listening, but I'm not telling you not to get angry, because we get angry.
Mm-hmm.
But the Bible says get angry and sin not. I mean, you can't be doing all that off the chain, throwing stuff, just straight out brawling.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we get mad, but not to the point where it's 150, 200 kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And somebody videoing it. So make it so now they think, okay, so the next group like, okay, we gonna go next week, and no, that's not how it's supposed to be. He said do stuff decent and in order. So if you got a problem with somebody, talk it out. If I got a problem with you, I'm gonna come talk to you about it.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gonna wait till we get out in a big crowd of 150 people now want to talk about it.
But like you said, a lot of them don't know that.
Right.
They don't know how to approach their fellow brother or sister and sit down and talk and reason.
Right.
Reason with one another. So that's true, and that goes back to parenting. If the parent doesn't get them when they're at that impressionable age where, hey, you need to listen to your adults, follow instructions, be respectful. Then once they get a certain age, a lot of them, I'm not going to say they can't be real back in, but it's very difficult to, save a lot of them as far as that with the behavior.
With the behavior. Yeah, but I mean, you just gotta control. Young folks just need to control their anger.
Mm-hmm.
When you see even in the mornings, I mean, everybody, which I ain't never seen that, will wake up on the bad side of the bed. it's just a blessing to wake up. So I always see the bad side of it. The blessing is waking up. But when you come to school, if you're mad, like I tell my kids, if you're mad and your friend, want to joke around, he's a joking person. So you want to joke around today, but the day you don't feel it, just go tell me how you feel it today.
Mm-hmm.
Not right now. But not to the point where he come on and you let it keep balling up inside you, but you ain't saying nothing to him. So he still think y'all cool. This is how y'all do every morning. So he think you cool.
Mm-hmm.
And you had to keep balling up inside you. You mad. You ain't mad at him. You mad at somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
But you gonna take it out on him.
Mm-hmm.
That don't make no sense.
Another point, going back to the parenting. I pulled a young gentleman to the side in my building because he foul mouth. I mean, this language, he can't say a normal word. 80% of the words that come out of his mouth are cuss words, profanity. So I pulled him to the side one day a couple weeks ago. I said, where you learn all this language from? Where you getting all this profanity from? What do you say? My family. So that's point right there.
Yeah, see, now, you gonna take me back to 20 years ago. You said I was young. See, when I was young back in the day, kids didn't hang around grown folks. Mm-hmm. You went outside and played with some kids, so you didn't get to hear all that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and could put together some combinations of words. I said, man, if you can put together them same combinations in
them syllables,
writing a sentence, then that's fine. You can write a book.
You can write a book.
Yeah,
write a book, bro.
But yeah, that's what we deal. Yeah, that's what we deal with. But I love it. And like I said, I believe God placed me in this position because my mom said when I was getting out of school, I really didn't know what I wanted to do, but I know education wasn't in the forefront.
Right.
And then just opened up for me, and I ended up in this position. So I'm very grateful for that. Because I was going to do something else.
Yeah, it was degrees in what? Business? What was it?
It's in something totally outside education. But I
say what type of degree was it?
I started subbing, and it just led to one thing. That's how good God is. I started out subbing. I said, well, matter of fact, I'm gonna give a shout out to Tyrone again. He said, because he graduated college a year before I did, so he was actually teaching at the time. He said, hey, got this sub position in my building available for me. I said, okay, I'll come check it out. I'm fresh out of college, I need some money. I'll come check it out. And went and checked it out. I think I was there for 2 days. And then the principal, being that time, he said, hey, I got a contract for it. He said, I want to hire you full time. I said, okay. Then it just kind of materialized. And here I am, 13 years later.
See?
So.
Now, see, that's the same way it was with me with church.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my best friend was walking to the store, and it was this pastor and wife had this storefront church. Only them two in there. Mm-hmm. We rolling by looking at one another like, what them two people doing in there? We gonna be like, let's go see what they doing. So we went in there, like, hey, what y'all doing? He said, well, we having church. Looked around, ain't nobody in but you two.
With 2 or 3 gathered.
He said, church? He's like, yeah, well, for 2 of y'all in here. He said, y'all want to sit down? Like, nah, we ready to go to the store. He said, we here on Sundays and Wednesdays. Go this time. Like, all right. So the next week, hey, let's go see them 2 people still up there.
Mm-hmm.
We walked in. They still there. We walk in. They said, hey, we'll come out and he'll sit down. Then 2 gave him a good word.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Kept going back. After now, around 53 years later, can't do without going to church.
Yeah.
Gotta have it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you can he can work with you.
He can.
He can work with you.
Yeah. But the thing is, you gotta be
willing.
So you can make a lot. Yes.
I got a question out there. It says, in our church, we have a large decrease in our youth in the last 5 years. Have y'all's churches had a decrease in youth?
Want to answer that question first?
I would say our decrease. Well, I'm not gonna say decrease. A lot of our members that were young, as they get older and they start going off to school, and some of them have moved out of the city, out of state. But a few of them have left and went to college, and so that time they're, away at school, they're not there in the church. But no, not a significant decrease. It's just a lot of them, career paths or have to move.
Yeah, not our church. We see I see an increase since I've been there. I've been there now 3 years now, and I see an increase in the youth. They have children's church, which they go from potty trained to. When I got there, they went from potty trained to 12. Now they go from potty trained to 10, and the rest from 10 on up stayed with their family inside the church to hear the word. And they have TNT, which is Teen Nurtured in Truth, and that's on second or third Wednesday. And those youth, big crowd of youth. So our churches, I seen an increase, not a decrease.
Okay. Yeah, and also to keep your membership, your children's membership there, you have to be creative, just like in teaching. You have to do different things to keep their attention. And so, I know that they're in church to learn about the word, but you still have to make it appealing for them to learn about it, to keep that interest there. And that's what we want to do. We want it generational. So we want their kids, to be there, and then their children on down the way.
But to that brother, we really pray, man, that it increases, that God increase our youth, because we must understand that some youth can't drive themselves to church. Their parents got to bring them to church. When they get old enough to drive, we pray we put enough word in them that they'll come back and drive themselves to church. But it's to the point where the parents have to bring them to church. So we have to go ahead and get the parents first, probably, so the kids would come back to church. And youth would understand that they'll be, we start with them, they'd be like, Mama, it's time to go to church. Well, I want to go today. Now, Mama, it's time to go to church.
And that's the thing, if they can be so caught up in the things in their community, the violence and all the other things that's not going to benefit them, why come we, as men of God, why come we can't do things within our church to try to draw them, and not just draw them, but to keep them within the church? That's important, because see it all the time. Like you said, they're so attached, and they glorify the violence and stuff outside.
Right.
And that's all they know. So we can do things within the four walls of the church to get them to glorify, to want to be a part of the ministries. And
I really think Sunday was a good chance to grab a whole bunch of youth and family members, because that Easter Sunday morning, everybody want to come to church. They will show off that suit and dress. That was the best time to give them a word to attach them, to catch them where they're at.
That's true.
That's when you get them. And
one bit of I guess a shout out or praise for you. Says, Mr. Carr, you are awesome. You are a great example of a man for our boys. We need more like you.
Thank you. I wonder who that was from.
That's from the Carr fan club.
Okay.
It wasn't your mother.
I give him that. This dude here is got the calmest patience I ever seen. Because my patience is at a limit. And we was working together. He had to come and call me like, come on, man, come on in my room and calm down. We get to talking about church. And I'm like, all right, you got me.
Yeah, and I miss my buddy. He he went to another building this past year. And we had been together for, 6 years?
Yep, 6 years.
We was over in one building and we went to another building. And when he said he was leaving, I said, man, I ain't got nobody to talk to. Because, he was my support within the building. We were having them frustrating days and them children going haywire and going crazy.
Yep,
we just go in the classroom, we get a little break, we shut the door, we start talking, turn on some music, and we ready to go. But yeah, I guess I do got...
You got patience.
Too much patience.
No, you got good patience. You got good patience.
And Mr. Antoine's been a support for me. Last few years, last 6 years, been a real strong support for me. And we had a tandem going, and we had to break it off, but we reunited now.
Yeah, you reunited. It'll come back. It'll come back. We still do dinners and
we do.
outings. We still do stuff like that.
So that was from Natasha Buchanan, and then Shane Gray says, "Armand, what a great guy." So Natasha and Shane come out for you.
Okay, now.
Okay.
Natasha and Shane. So you students.
No, I know Shane. I believe he went to college with him. If it's the same Shane Gray, Missouri Western, I believe. What's going on, Shane? If I know that's you, went to college with him, and Miss Buchanan, I probably went to school with her.
At school.
Say all your school people.
There's an ad sign in school. So.
Probably went to college together.
Yeah. See that?
Thank you. I appreciate
You got
it.
your white shine.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
And what was the topic you was gonna go to a while ago?
Well, I was going to touch on go back into the education and church again, but I don't know. I'm just going to try to figure out something else to talk about. And once again, we're filling in for Tyrone Gathers. Okay.
Yeah. So he gave us an opportunity today.
He did, and again, we're grateful. Thank you for the opportunity, Tyrone.
Next time we can do it all three together.
We can. We will. We'll be back on and give you all another show for the future.
Last words. Just keep praying, y'all, because things gonna get worse before it get better. But prayer does change things.
Ditto. It does. Yep. Just keep on. My preacher always says, he tells us pretty much every Sunday, he says, now I'm going to say this, I don't think I'm talking about something inappropriate. He says, PCP, and this is what he means. Persevere, be persistent, consistent, and persevere. So I want to leave you all with that. Again, with prayer, you never have too much prayer.
Never.
And
don't just pray for you, pray for somebody else.
Yep. Your family, your community, because we need it.
Right, we all need it.
And so, thank you all for tuning into the Source of the Inkwell. My name is Armand Carr.
Joseph Antoine.
Until next time, thank you.